Yo, before the story starts, I just want to say thank you so much for the undeserved support on the videos that I currently have up on the channel. I feel like the effort, my effort to your support ratio needs to change a little bit, so I'm gonna get back into this stuff, man. Thank you so much. This is about to be a interesting psychedelic story, and I'm planning on doing a little more uh, intricate projects, let's say, in the near future. But for now, thanks again, and enjoy this video. The light here is a visual representation of what drugs do to your brain. Hello, we are back at it today in these YouTube landscapes. God, what am I? This is me trying not to curse and at the start of the video, by the way. We're talking about 4-ACO-MET today. It's a prodrug for 4-HO-MET, a cheeky little psychedelic that's very visual, not very challenging, and pretty euphoric and humorous and all sorts of things. But I feel like to give the full picture here, we gotta sort of introduce the whole drugging situation that happened in that Minecraft playthrough that day. It was actually December 31st. It was about to be 2026. And I wasn't necessarily even I wasn't even planning this trip, to be quite fair. Just meeting up with some friends, right? And of course, fucking lab rat man Johnson, I had to do a little bit of 3-methyl PCP before meeting up with anyone, before even getting ready. This later on impaired my getting ready, but I ended up doing a little more than I wanted to, and it was just one of those things where you're like, please wear off soon, you know? Uh, so yeah, at one point, I mean, I had to start getting ready. It still hadn't worn off, but I felt confident enough that I could take a shower without breaking my skull, so I did, and got ready. By the time people started arriving, don't mind my senior citizen body here, but people started arriving, and it was starting to wear off. It was pretty chill at this point. So not necessarily relevant for the actual trip itself, but it did leave an impact on how I was gonna do drugs for that night. Cause like after that wore off, I was like, no, no, no more drug for me. I don't do drugs. So I took 300 milligrams, I think. Could have been 300, could have been 450 milligrams of pregabalin. So it was that, and I literally only had one shot of I don't know what for celebratory purposes. It was just me, three homies, and a cousin from one of the homies and her friend. And the homies were two of my boys from high school and one boy that I recently met who would later become my trip companion. So we're just chilling there. That it's a New Year's celebration thingy. It's a small get together, so it was nice. I prefer that definitely over a party. House parties are fine, I guess, but like big parties, no, 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 boo boo. Uh, that's about all the drugging that went down there. Smoked weed here and there throughout the whole fucking experience, and that's pretty much it. I didn't do anything else, didn't do more PCP, and at one point people left. It was about 3 a.m. and it was only me and my one homie from work standing. I won't really go over anything at the party. It's not significant for the 4-ACO trip here. So basically, it's just me and him standing, and like the alcohol for at this point probably had worn off for me. Smoking weed all throughout, and that continues even after taking the 4-ACO. So I guess that's implied. The pregabalin is definitely standing strong. It lasts super long. So it's about 3 a.m. and I tell my friend like, "Yo, come admire these drugs with me." So we're looking at the PCP that I didn't want to do. and these two tablets of 4 ACO MET that were 20 milligrams each. They both have a little half Z's thing where you can split it in half. And we're just admiring these things, man. I explained to my friend what it is. I tell him I haven't tried it. This was my first time trying it and his first time trying it. And he was like, he said he was down. I was actually quite surprised. This is more of the, he's more of a natural kind of guy, but like, he, he's an open-minded individual. And very, very good, mind you, very good person to trip with. This was a fantastic job by me on picking like such an amazing person to trip with. I'm such a gangster for that, but we decided we're gonna trip. We're thinking about the dosages, and homie says he wants to do half a thing, and I was like, shit, what am I supposed to? I wasn't gonna do half. So I had either the option to do a full one or one and a half. And I'm like, if I do a full one now and then my next trip has to be half off, and I'm like, nah, let's just do the 30 mg, hit the 10 mg. And I'll say this right now. Dose discrepancy pretty there, pretty present. Fucking wavelength discrepancy, we were right there, bro. We It was like we had taken the exact same dose. Uh, I am starting to shiver a little bit, motherfucker. I guess now I keep the cameras rolling, motherfucker. We don't stop. Uh, where the fuck was I though? Basically, we decide our doses, and I think we decided to wait a little bit. I don't know what the waiting was for. I'm an impatient fucking drug addict. I was like, let's fucking pop these. And it took about 30 to 60 minutes. I was holding in this burp because I forgot I could edit it out. That was so chill. Basically, we wait 30 to 60 minutes and then we Kevin Poppinger. And now we're waiting more minutes. I don't know how many minutes. It was actually a couple of minutes. And I remember seeing a little bit of movement in my vision, just like the tiniest bit of movement. Like you could definitely feel a psychedelic coming on. It wasn't anything particularly uncomfortable, but it was movement. It was movement in the vision. And I did have a little bit of nausea during the come up, but it was a pretty comfy come up, all things considered. And my dose was actually like pretty. It was like closer to the high ranges than the low ranges, let's say. It didn't feel super crazy, but I'll get into that. Basically, I'm just seeing this super light movement for a while, and so is my friend. I think we both started seeing a little bit of stuff like that early on, and then it took like an hour for it to like actually start kicking. And I remember it starting with my friend. He was just like sitting somewhere in the couch, yeah, and was he had his eyes closed, and he was just like smiling, had his eyes closed. He was chilling. He was being chilling, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Well, I'm just like having these nice little dreams," and I'm like, "Wow, that's fucking sick." And slowly but surely, it starts kicking in for me as well. I remember the first hint of visuals where I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm tripping, dude." Was when I was looking at the Christmas tree. Like there was a tiny little Christmas tree, like about the size of this. I just knocked stuff over, but you see this little heating unit? That's about the size of the heating unit, and the it was glowing. It had lights on. They were red, green, and blue. And all those lights together with the black cables and just the colors of the tree, for some reason, they just all mushed together for me and created like this little weird looking, like almost like atom of energy. It was very cool. It was like an energy ball. And I was like, hell yeah, this shit is powerful. This shit is strong. I just remember that this was just like a great trip from start to finish. I swear to God, like, uh, As I might have mentioned, it's a very non-challenging psychedelic. There's really like you could say there's a little bit of a few bouts of anxiety, but I wouldn't say it's any different from life, it's like sober or just like smoking weed, for example. It really wasn't all that challenging for me, at least. Like I'm sure it definitely could be, and if I increased the dose, it probably would be. Uh, but it was super easy in that sort of sense. It was actually one of the first really, really euphoric psychedelics I've experienced because I was just super happy all throughout. It was kind of like MDMA in that sense. It's a different kind of happiness, I guess, and it is a different sort of intensity. MDMA is still more intense with that, but this was just really euphoric and super visual. Like the visuals were absolutely beautiful. Some particular things I remember are that people were not disgusting to look at. I have this such a huge issue with acid, for example, when I would look at somebody or like my own skin and it's just disgusting, dude. It's awful. It's like, I don't know who said this, but it's a really good analogy, but one of those, I think it happens in SpongeBob, but also in things like Flapjack and Ren and Stimpy, where they get this like zoom in, super detailed frame where everything just rusty, dusty, and crusty. Uh, that's what my skin looks like to be on acid. Okay, not that bad, right? But like pretty bad. Like I don't like looking at it. I'm just really uncomfortable. On this, like we were very cartoony. I noticed size distortion a lot. Like this was actually my first psychedelic experience where I've really felt big and small multiple times. It was just recycling those feelings. Things were looking big and small. Like my friend kept shrinking and growing. It was really cool. And he looked super cartoony. I looked pretty cartoony to myself as well. Uh, it was just nice, and we were laughing the whole time. And it wasn't like even a forced laughter. It was really like sense of humor boost 300. It was so nice. Like we were actually cracking some nice jokes that, you'll shit if you told me now when I was about to say stone cold sober. It would be funny even now. It would be hilarious, in fact. And one of the funniest things was we were listening. Music was fantastic. We were mainly listening to like acoustic, not very vocally happy music, basically. I remember specifically, and I will show this album cover on screen, but there was this one album cover that we kept looking at with this super happy dude, and it was just like radiating joy having this shit all across the fucking TV screen. Dude was so happy, and we kept cracking jokes. We kept like throwing around these different sorts of sentences describing how happy he is. We were like, bro always eats his veggies. Bro's favorite day of the week is tomorrow. Bro always wakes up on the right side of the bed. And it's so like it was crisp. It was crispendicular. And we were doing that for what felt like 3 hours. It was actually like 30 minutes. Aside from that, like this was probably one of my favorite parts of the visuals. We went into my room where there was a floor. There's a carpet that has this like checkerboard pattern. It's not all black and white, it's like different shades, but basically all the dark spaces looked like a whole like a portal into a different dimension. They were all like bottomless pits stretching out like these neon colors were creating the outline, and you could easily stand on them or sit on them because it's the floor, but it looked like fall to your death, but it was like so chill because you at the end of the day you knew it was the floor. It was the floor is pretty chill like that. uh, and it was so fun. Like we sat down on the floor and we were just like like tapping the floor, pressing it. We were just laughing like that was fucking fantastic. Felt very childlike, very jolly. A few more notable things, I guess. We watched the Gandicus Erectus thingy playthrough by Uber Danger, sport playthrough, pacifist run, whatever the fuck. That was fantastic. That video is so peaceful. I still say that this is one of my favorite videos on YouTube of all time. You should definitely check that out if you haven't. Visuals, I guess I should try to describe them a little bit better. Definitely very shroomy. More shroomy than, well, it is a tryptamine. It's just really pretty shroomy visuals. I had a little bit of closed eye visuals as well. My issue with closed eye visuals is that they tend to be a little bit faint. In this experience, it was still kind of faint, and also I should mention that the weed didn't do much for me on this psychedelic, just like with most psychedelics. I don't really smoke a lot. I just mainly smoke small doses all throughout the experience. Also, there wasn't much of a body load. That was super nice. I really dislike when psychedelics have a heavy body load. That usually turns me off from them. This one, if anything, whenever I did feel some bodily effects, which wasn't present all throughout, when I did feel them, it was more this sort of like nice, cozy feeling. I was wearing really comfortable clothes. I'm sure that contributed to it, but. That was just super nice. It's very friendly. Friendly in a sense of, I mean, it's nice to do with a friend. I'm definitely happy I didn't do it solo because it's not super introspective or profound. Like, I definitely did feel a profound sense of gratitude, both during and after the experience. And that was really nice, but there was no, as I said, there was no challenge. There was no fucking demon I had to face. It was just really light in that sort of sense, and that's kind of what makes it good. I would honestly even put this above 2CB as an introductory psychedelic. I would say 2CB is also fairly unchallenging, but it's a little more than this. It's a little more. Like with this one, I feel like it's more visual for Buck. Like you can crank up the visuals a decent bit without still reaching any sort of challenging point. I will try to have stronger trips on this. I haven't tripped in nature. This was all indoors basically. And might I add, both lights on and off. I think I slightly prefer off. My brain was really good at making its own light show, which was so fun. There wasn't much of a come down. When I fell asleep, there was still a little bit of the visuals were still at it. Got decent sleep, even though I went to bed super late. Woke up feeling nice and fresh, just really inspired. And this was a common feeling for both me and my friend. Uh, and both of us tied it back to looking at that album cover. I'm very happy I had the experience. We'll do it again. And so far, this is honestly my favorite psychedelic. I don't necessarily like all the challenging stuff. Like, I'm content with this, to be honest. At least for now, I'm very content with this. Thank you so much for watching. That's about all.